Now I'm gonna tell this story, and if you're able to pick apart what I'm saying, then you're gonna understand the message. If you're not gonna be able to do this, then I might be able to explain at the end. But if you don't get it, you're probably not gonna get it when I explain it. Here's a real reason why you're not seeing results. Okay, this story about a coworker of mine. Right, we used to not even like hang out, but when we see each other, we just got along very well. We just kind of clicked, right? And whenever we would talk about just life stuff, dreams, hopes, what we wanted to do, he would always tell me that he wanted to be a DJ. He wanted to do the EDM, right? And I was always like, yeah, dude, you should totally do that. You should totally do that. You should totally do that, right? I told him I wanted to be on social media, make a bunch of videos, right? Which I was already doing at the time. But with him there, I was like, yeah, you know what? I can do that. Actually, I'm just going to tell you what you really need to do. Okay. More than likely, you're not starting, you're not continuing on, you're not practicing, you're not intentionally growing. Okay. This is basically what the story is going to be about. Whatever. We're just going to cut through that. Okay. So, anyway, he leaves. I don't really know what he was going to be doing, but I did follow him on social media. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. Right. He posts his content. Sometimes it's about gaming, sometimes it's just about life stuff, sometimes it's about politics. It doesn't really matter, right? But he was just trying to make it big on there, right? And I was supporting him, liking his stuff. And then one day, like I see him on live, right? He has his DJ equipment, and he's going at it, right? He's just playing a tune, right? I don't really watch it. That's not really my cup of tea. I don't really watch DJs online. I don't get it personally. Um, But I was really encouraged because I was like, dang it, he's getting it. He's following his dreams. That's something that I haven't really done, especially at that time. I'm like, I need to get on my journey. And there's been times where like I really wanted to quit. It's like, dude, it's just not going anywhere. I don't know. Like I've been doing this for like 2 years ish. Like there's a reason why I say I'm a failed YouTuber. Okay, I'm a failed content creator all the way around. Okay, no jokes. But anyway, I remember seeing popping in on his lives and pop in, pop out. And I remember when he first started, he had like 13 views, 20 views, and then like maybe 6 months later, he had 200 people watching him at the same time. You know, recently I popped in this live, and he was super big in my book. I think he's like 17,000 followers currently. Last time I checked, but 17,000 is such a big deal to me. Bro, I can't even imagine having 17,000 people following me on TikTok, dude. Like, and I popped in to just check him, see what's up, see what he's doing, and I came in. I'm like, bro, like this, like to see the growth of very little of just effort on a consistent basis about him going live on a regular basis, because he was going live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No rest days, no nothing. No rest days, no nothing. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know how long he was on live, but that's what he was doing. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Going live, DJ, mixing. That's all he was doing. Right? At least whenever I saw him, that's what he was doing. At least online. And seeing the progress from where he started to where he is now, from going from 0 followers, or I think I was 200 followers, to 17,000 followers, right? I don't know how much money he's making. I don't know his story. I don't know where he goes still behind the scenes, right? I don't know what his family's life's like or anything like that, right? I don't know what goes on in his regular life, okay? I don't know him like that. I just see him on live every day, right? But something that I can pull away from that inspiration is that I can start today. I can continue on, and I can intentionally grow. Like right now, my channel is kind of in wigwam because I kind of changed the format of my channel, as well as I just haven't been going to the gym as often. I just don't really know what I want to do with that, because I know my new job's starting, and I don't even know how that's going to be. Okay, it might be like this for a hot minute, for a while. Doesn't necessarily matter. What I do know is that he said he wanted to be a DJ. He said he had a goal. He said what he wanted to do, and he went to go get it in the first place. That's what I'm inspired by. And I saw what he wanted to do and how he evolved his content over time. Like at one point, he was doing inside his house, and sometimes he'll be outside DJing. I don't know how that works, but he does it, right? And like just remembering the growth, I think to myself, I can do that too. You know, but none of that stuff would have happened in the first place if he didn't start doing his own thing. If and just coming back every day in order to build his page. And that's what I need to do. The only difference is like niche, but that's a little bit different. But anyway, if I don't go live every day, doesn't really matter. Okay. But I can still apply the same concepts of posting as often as possible, which is something that I haven't been doing recently because I just haven't been making a bunch of videos. But clicking it up. No excuses. And with this new format I have right now, like it makes videos a lot easier to push out further, especially further into the week than I am right now, because I'm like kind of tired, but I might have some script ideas that I have, right? Seeing his success made me start to brainstorm more ideas on how I can at least implement some stuff that I've seen from him into the stuff that I'm doing, right? I should probably ask him. Actually, I should probably ask him about his content strategy. But anyway, I might do that later after this. Like even me, as an example, I went from like before I even started this side of my YouTube channel, I should be Paladins. The video game Paladins, yes. Okay, if you're on my main, it was Sky and Talus. Leave me alone. Favorite tank? Do you challenge Makoa? Listen. Anyway, felt well like I wasn't really consistent there. I didn't feel like recording every single time I was playing the game. I just didn't. It was a lot. Okay, it took me an hour to edit. I didn't have the mindset for it, right, or the grit for it, or the discipline for it, right? Like, but I went from growing that channel from 0 to 60, 65 ish, stopping, coming up with a new content idea, and so far it's grown to 155 as of recording this, right? But that's just through consistency, getting myself out there, finding a way to upload a ton of clips on YouTube Shorts, right? Like that's how I've mainly been doing it. Now I didn't do anything special. Okay, I'm recording this on an iPhone and using an $80 mic I got like a year ago. Okay, and that in combination of me overthinking my life experiences and giving it to you, trying to help whoever you are, if you need it, out, like that's literally all I'm doing. Now, is it hard to come up with video ideas sometimes? Yes. Okay. Does my energy always come the same every single time? No, it's not that consistent. Mainly because, well, like it's in part because I don't execute immediately, but also sometimes I'm just not in the mood. Sometimes I'm like drained from either from studying, from learning too much, from learning a lot, working out. I'm just like, I really don't feel like doing it. And yes, it feels tiring to just record this, and it expends a lot of energy, right? But at the end of the day, it is truly up to me, up to you, with what you do with your spare time, if you have any. Okay, me personally, right? I'm studying, I'm reading a book, I'm making videos, I'm making video scripts, I'm studying for my CompTIA A plus exam, I'm studying my AI prompting, that type of stuff. Those are productive things that I do within my spare time. You know, like, but recently, I say all that stuff, but recently, I can be laying on the bed for 3 hours longer than I'm supposed to. Like sleeping all day, watching pointless YouTube video essays, taking all the noise I learned from all my lessons just out my brain, which is ultimately harming me. Doesn't really matter. But, you know, for you, it might be a little bit different, okay? I don't know your life, okay? But you could probably list out some things that you are probably doing right now that are not very productive. And you can get rid of them or cut them down to a point that makes your life manageable, okay? Like if you're going to be addicted to something, be a functional addict. Please be a functional addict, okay? Please, that's not medical advice, financial advice. Don't do that. Anyway, no drugs, no nothing. Don't do that. Okay, but ultimately, it's all up to you if you are able-bodied, really, because you're in control, whether you like it or not. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Anyway, not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying it's not going to be exhausting. Okay, I'm not saying that there isn't some special exception out there where that you fall into that prevents you from doing all that stuff. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm talking mainly to people who can do more with the time that they're given and don't. That's what I'm talking to in this video. From there, after we start, we begin to build some discipline. Let's start intentionally growing after that too, just to add on to it. And after that, let's use our resources, AI, internet, LinkedIn, mentorship, library. Like if there is something to help you get further, we need to be using that ASAP, as soon as possible. Okay? Because when you're going fast, at least with me, right? At least with me. Because when you're going fast, you're just trying to get everything in there. Like I miss the small details, and those end up like messing me up. I just don't want that to happen to you, right? Slow growth is important. Intentional growth is important. Using your resources is important. Getting a mentorship is important. Getting some extra eyes on whatever it is important. All that stuff is important, right? After you start doing all that stuff, after you start using your resources, after you start, building that discipline, you need to get some extra eyes on whatever you're doing. Because sometimes you may not be seeing things that that a person who's an expert in your field is going to be seeing, right? Now, if you're like a writer or something like that, you don't want someone to steal your ideas or be creative, and you don't want someone to come in and steal those ideas. Like just show somebody who, you trust, get some feedback off of that, and then make adjustments if you have to. Once again, just use those as example. But the whole point of this video is that you have to be a self-starter. You have to build some level of discipline. You have to be intentional in order to grow. And after those 2-3 things are established, you have to be intentional to intentionally grow. Use your resources, right? After those 3 things are established, get some feedback, get some extra eyes on it. And that's the whole point I'm making. Okay? Not only from the story of my coworker, but also my own. I know I say this all the time on the channel, but I cannot stress it enough because it's literally that simple. It's just the process that's challenging. Most people don't want to slay dragons. Like they just want to be the townspeople who get to cheer when the dragon isn't there anymore. But anyway, anyone can be a hero in that story. So like, why can't it be you? Be a hero in your own story. Anyway, if that doesn't make sense to you, please go in the comment section, ask a question whenever you want to. I'm really willing to hear what you think, and if I can help you like understand the concept that I'm trying to basically show in this video, I'm happy to do that. Anyway, Triumph Athletic, code MINT, MINT. Help a brother out, please. Code MINT, MINT, 10% off. Like, subscribe, share with a friend, whatever. Adios.